Hey, this is Alex. Today we're going to review how to quickly build a custom integration with Espressive. Now, why would you want to build a custom integration with Espressive? The real goal here is to be able to automate as much as possible. Now, Espressive has many out-of-the-box automations that help reduce the amount of tickets that come in, reset passwords, integrate with ITSM solutions, bring information for employees to review, such as number of PTO days. And these are all built to really help streamline the service desk and answer repetitive questions. Now, today, we're going to go through a quick example of how to build one of these from scratch. So for today's example, we're going to be using our Get Data integration to grab data from a third-party API. So we're going to connect to an API that just brings information back on active COVID cases. And the use case is to bring that into Control Center, into our solution through Control Center, and then allow someone to use natural language to just get information about COVID and bring it directly here within our solution. So let's go ahead and get started. So first of all, our integration here is calling this third-party API. This is what the response looks like that comes back in JSON. And we're going to use this to be able to bring this information dynamically into Espressive. So to do this, we're going to go into our Control Center, and we're going to use the template to bring third-party data. And this is basically going to allow us to call a custom REST solution here, and then we can put in our headers. And all we really need to do is put in the endpoint that we want to go after. So I'll go ahead and copy this here, and then we'll actually set that directly within the endpoint. And that's all we need to do, because we have everything set up here in order to be able to grab that information and run the integration call and display it. Now we're going to create an integration building block called an intent. And within this intent is our base intent to be able to grab information from REST. And what we're doing here is calling an action. And these actions are really powerful because they allow us to call multiple API calls and bring data information in and make decisions based on that data. So if we go ahead and execute this call here, I'll go ahead and test this intent. And what this will do is bring back the data. So we saw that this data has now come back in, and we can now actually run this within our solution as well. So I'll go ahead and run this on the web as an example. Just type in get data. And now we can see that that API call is going to be made, and we've brought back the information in. Now we don't want to display it in this way. We may want to do some quick formatting. Let's say we want to display the cases. So let's just grab the cases here. And I can modify the output here. And let's say that the data that's coming back, I want to get the result of that data, but I just want to focus on cases. So I can just step into it here. We're going to grab cases. And I'll go ahead and test that again. So now we filtered everything to just the cases now. And we can edit the response. So within the response here, where the data was being displayed, let's just say the number of open cases is, and then we'll have that here. So perfect. I'll go ahead and run that, and we can see that custom response here. Now let's say I want to use natural language in order to get this response. That's one of the biggest advantages of the Employee Language Cloud, is I can easily link this integration to natural language. Let's take a look at an example of that. Let's say I come in here and I ask, what is the latest COVID info? So we're going to get a response here from a policy that's letting us know that, hey, there's a work from home policy. But what if I want to add my integration response directly to this out-of-the-box response here that we have within Espressive in the Language Cloud? I can easily do that by just modifying the existing intent. So for this intent, which I have the response here, what I'm going to do is come in here, and I'm just going to redirect the end of this to the integration call that we just built. So I'll go ahead and save that. I'll test it here. And now we have the response that we had, as well as a number of open cases. But now we support thousands of variations of asking the same question. So if I come back here, and let's say I ask this in a different way. Let's say I say, hi, is the office open right now, or is it closed? because of the pandemic. So obviously I asked this in a completely different way. COVID was even a part of the actual phrase I have here, and we're still able to get to that integration we just built. And that's how you build a custom integration using Espressive. Thanks a lot.